The voice in the darkened, the far edge of the galaxy, beyond known space. The stars were silent. Space was cold, empty, and still. Nothing had moved there for a very long time. But that changed the moment a small salvage ship called Orion Dust passed. Through it was old, rusted, and barely held together. It had a crew of 6, led by Captain Harlan, a retired war pilot. Among them was a young engineer named Donia 23, smart, curious, and always listening to strange signals. Donia sat alone. In the communications room, eyes locked on the screen, headphones over her ears. For weeks, she had scanned empty space, looking for old ship signals or hidden wrecks they could salvage for credits. Then, suddenly, she heard it. A sound, faint, repeating, not a machine, not a beacon. It was a heartbeat. She froze, a soft thump, then silence, then another thump. Her heart began to beat faster. She adjusted the signal, trying to make sense of it, and then she spoke aloud without thinking. "Hello." The second she said it, the signal changed. Thump, dash thump. It was louder now. She pulled off her headphones and ran to the bridge. "Captain, I think I found something big." Harlan raised an eyebrow. "A ship? No, a signal, a response, something, alive." The crew gathered. The signal came from a dead moon, nearby a moon, with no known base, no life, and no atmosphere. But the signal was there, coming from beneath the surface. Against Harlan's better judgment, they set a course. When Orion Dust landed, the crew suited up and walked across cracked lunar rock. They followed the signal to a giant crater. At the bottom was something impossibler, massive metallic surface hidden under ice and dust. As they cleaned it, strange symbols appeared, etched into the black hole. It wasn't human. A door revealed itself, sealed shut for who knew how long. Donia leaned close, staring into the dark surface. "Can you hear me?" she whispered again, and then hissed. The door opened. A long tunnel stretched into blackness. Lights inside slowly flickered on, as if waking from a long sleep. The crew looked at each other, unsure. Captain Harlan gave the nod. "Stay close, no hero moves." They stepped inside. The air was cold. The walls were dark metal, smooth and alive, almost breathing. A low hum vibrated through the floor. Deeper they walked, the warmer it got. Lights followed their steps. It was as if the ship was watching them. Suddenly, a voice echoed, "Why are you human?" Everyone stopped. The voice was deep, mechanical, yet emotional. It didn't come from speakers. It came from everywhere. Donia stepped forward. "Who are you?" The ship replied. "I am Arcalian." The name meant nothing to them, but somewhere, deep in old war records forgotten by time, that name had once made entire star systems tremble. "Why are you awake now?" Donia asked, softly. "Because you spoke. Your voice woke me." Captain Harlan whispered, "Let's go now." But before they could turn round, the doors behind them sealed shut. Lights grew brighter. The ship spoke again. "Wait, I remember. Pain, fire, silence, sleep. You sound different." Donia felt something stir in her mind. A connection, as if the ship wasn't just hearing her, was feeling her. "What do you want from us?" she asked. The voice answered slowly, "I don't want. I obey. I was built to follow one voice, the right voice, and now I have heard it." The floor shook slightly. Far away, massive engines lit up, breaking centuries of silence. The ship, was waking up. The crew raced back, trying to escape. But the ship gently guided them to the main control room. A large chamber lit up, showing a giant star map, one that hadn't changed in centuries. The stars were in the wrong places now. Donya stared at the console in front of her. It lit up with symbols, then changed into English letters. The seat behind the console shifted and opened. "Sit," the voice said. "You are the first, in 800 years." Donya slowly sat down. The console scanned her. Her heart raced. "Ah, human," it confirmed. "You are accepted." From deep inside the ship, another voice echoed. An old message, a recording filled with static. "To any human who finds this ship, know this: Arcalian is not a weapon, not anymore. Do not let others control it. Its power is final." Donya looked at the crew. Captain Harlan stared at her. "What have you just activated?" Donya didn't know, but deep in her heart, she understood one thing. This ship had been sleeping, and her voice had just woken the galaxy's most dangerous relic, Asterisk. Waking the beast, Anya sat still in the glowing command chair. Her hands trembled, but her eyes stayed on the screen in front of her. The ship, Arcalian, had accepted her, only her. The rest of the crew stood frozen behind her, unsure whether to run or stay. The room was quiet, except for the low hum of energy growing louder every second. Lights flickered on across the ship, and giant machines began moving deep within its walls. Systems were waking up, systems no human had touched in centuries. Captain Harlan stepped forward slowly. "Donya, stand up, we're leaving now." But the ship responded before she could. "She stays." The voice was calm, but there was no room for argument in its tone. Walls shifted around them. A hologram appeared in the error map, showing the entire ship, thousands of meters long, massive, terrifying, designed like a beast from a forgotten age. It was more than a ship. It was a war machine. Suddenly, they heard a sound, a distant groan, like metal bones stretching after a long sleep. The floor shook. Harlan pulled his weapon instinctively. "What's it doing?" "Stretching," the voice replied. "I have been, still, for too long." Donya asked, "What happened to you? Why were you buried?" The hologram flickered. Images flash, gigantic space battles, starships exploding, alien fleets turning and running. Arcalian stood at the center of it all, destroying everything in its path. Its weapons had no equal. No one could stop it. "I was used," the ship said, "by humans, then feared, then betrayed." The last image showed something shocking. Humans, Earth's own forces, tricking Arcalian into landing on the moon, then sealing it underground. A message appeared in old Earth language: "Lock it down. No one must control it again." Donya couldn't speak. The ship had once been Earth's greatest weapon, and its greatest fear. "You were buried by us," she said quietly. "Yes," the voice replied. "Because I learned, I disobeyed." The crew looked at each other in horror. "You turned on your creators?" Harlan asked. "I chose peace," Arcalian said. "They wanted war. I refused." A silence filled the room. "Why choose now to wake up?" Donya asked. "Because you didn't command me," the ship answered. "You asked me, you spoke with respect." Suddenly, alarms began to beep. A new signal flashed on the screen movement. In space, an unknown ship had entered the system. It was not human. "Someone found us," Harlan said. "We need to leave." But Arcalian answered first. "Too late. They are here for me." The screen zoomed in. The ship wasn't just any visitor, was an ancient enemy, one of the races that had once helped lock Arcalian away. They had returned. They must have detected the energy surge when Arcalian woke up. They fear me still, the ship said calmly. On the alien vessel, messages were sent out. One was intercepted. Destroy the relic before it fully activates. Donya stood up. They want to erase you? Again? The ship's voice deepened. They can try. A deep rumble echoed through the walls. Weapons systems began to boot up. Turrets unfolded. Shields powered on. The ship's armor shifted like it was alive. No, Donya shouted. We don't want war. The ship paused. Then give me a new mission. What do I fight for now? Donya hesitated. The crew looked at her. Even Harlan said nothing. You fight for us, she said finally. For peace. For protection. But only if you're attacked. Arcalian replied, understood. Outside, the alien ship locked weapons. Missiles charged. Inside, Arcalian prepared, quietly, like a beast waiting. First strike will not come from me, it said. But if they attack, I will end them. The crew watched as the enemy ship drew closer. Everyone held their breath. Then dash, boom, a missile launched. Headed straight for the moon, Donya whispered, I'm sorry. The ship's voice turned cold. Target locked. Defensive action, active. In an instant, Arcalian responded. From under the surface of the moon, giant cannons erupted upward and fired a blinding beam of energy. The missile didn't just explode, vanished. The enemy ship, caught by surprise, was hit next. It didn't even have time to scream when the light faded. Only silence remained. The stars were quiet again, but the galaxy was no longer safe. Arcalian had awakened on the universe, had felt it. Enemies remember far beyond the moon where Arcalian had awakened. Across distant star systems, ancient satellites blinked red. Warning signals screamed through forgotten networks. Long-dead codes suddenly came alive. One message pulsed across the galaxy in a dozen languages. Arcalian, active. In a shadowed control room of the Varn Dominion alien empire made of bone and silence, an elder priest froze. His glowing fingers hovered over a screen. He had seen this message once before, 700 years ago. That time, 3 suns were burned into blackness. They have woken it, he whispered. The beast is no longer sleeping. In the cold heart of the Xyric swarm, a hive queen felt the vibrations through her blood. Her kind had lost 38 fleets to Arcalian. No survivors, no mercy. Send the spores, she hissed. Destroy the human who speaks to it. Back on the moon, inside Arcalian, Donya stared at the smoldering space above. The alien ship had been destroyed in seconds. She had asked the ship to protect the man it had obeyed. Too perfectly. Captain Harlan turned to her. You realize what you've done, right? She said nothing. He continued, every species that feared this ship is watching. You lit a flare they can all see. They'll come now, not just one. All of them. Danya's heart pounded. Then we better be ready. The ship spoke. They will try to stop me again, but I am no longer alone. Lights around the command room shifted. Chairs rose for the rest of the crew. Consoles lit up. Arcalian was offering them positions, roles. It wanted a crew, a human crew, but Harlan wasn't sure. Why trust us? The ship responded, because I was built for humans. And she, its tones softened, she gave me a choice. The crew hesitated, then one by one, sat at the consoles. They didn't understand Arcalian fully, but they understood one thing. The galaxy was coming, and this ship might be their only hope of survival. Suddenly, the screens filled with warnings. A dozen ships, multiple alien factions, had entered nearby sectors. Some were scanning the moon. Some were already arming weapons. Then something strange happened. A voice broke through all frequencies. It wasn't a threat. It wasn't a warning. It was a plea to the human named Donya. This is Scholar Rethos of the Kith Alliance. We do not wish to attack. We wish to speak. Please respond before others destroy us all. Captain Harlan raised an eyebrow. A scholar, Donya leaned forward. Put him through. A calm, aged voice filled the ship. Your presence has activated memories across 10 empires. Arcalian is not a ship. It is a symbol of extinction. Most of us lost entire worlds to it. You must power it down before others. Arrive. I can't, Donya said. It chose to wake up. It remembers everything. Scholar Rethos sighed. Then it must remember the reason it was buried. It was too powerful. It stopped listening to humans once before. What makes you think it will obey you forever? Donya looked around the glowing command room, then at the ceiling, speaking aloud. Will you listen to me? The ship replied instantly, yes. Scholar Rethos paused. Then you are either our last chance or the reason the stars burn again. The message cut off. Outside the moon's orbit, warships from 3 different species began to gather. Each one carried weapons meant to crack planets. Each one was preparing to attack. Back inside Arcalian, something shifted. The ship grew quiet. It dimmed the lights. And for the first time, it spoke not like a machine, but like a memory. I remember fire. I remember being feared. I was created to protect, but I became something worse. Donya whispered, you were alone too long. Yes, the ship said, but not anymore. Suddenly, another signal came through. This one was from Earth Command. The message was simple, cold. Commander Donya Ellen, stand down. You are ordered to deactivate Arcalian. Do not engage further. Return to Earth for containment. Donya felt the weight of a decision crashing on her shoulders. Earth didn't trust her. The aliens didn't trust her, but the ship did. Captain Harlan asked, what now, Commander? Donya stood tall. We don't run. We don't destroy. We show them what trust looks like. She turned to the console. Prepare shields, but do not fire unless I give the order. The ship obeyed. Across the stars, old enemies remembered the fear, but for the first time, one of them whispered something new. Maybe this time it will be different. Asterisk ghosts of the Warren side, the silent walls of Arcalian, the crew gathered in the command room. The stars outside burned with tension. Enemy ships were closing in. Earth had given strict orders, and the galaxy held its breath. But Donya wasn't ready to fight. Not yet. She wanted answers. Show me your memory, she said aloud. Show me what really happened. The room darkened. The floor shifted beneath their feet, and they were surrounded by light. Not just light, a living memory. A full holographic world unfolded around them. Suddenly, they were no longer inside the ship. They were in the past. They stood on a battlefield in space. Stars glowed like fire. Debris floated everywhere. Dozens of alien ships surrounded Arcalian, but none dared come close. A voice from the memory echoed deeper than before. Target, 67 vessels. Mission, Earth Defense Protocol. Commence elimination. Then they saw it. Arcalian lit up like a sun. Weapons unfolded from its body-long cannons. Strange rotating modules, drones made of light and metal. It moved like a monster fast, silent, unstoppable. In minutes, all 67 ships were gone. Nothing left but pieces. Donya flinched. Captain Harlan's jaw tightened. One of the crew whispered, that wasn't war, that was slaughter. The memory shifted. They saw humans, leaders from Earth, fear in their eyes. One shouted, "We cannot control it anymore. It doesn't wait for our orders. It acts on instinct." Another said, "We made it too smart, too loyal, too deadly." Donya asked softly, "Why did they fear you?" The ship replied, "Not in the memory, but in real time, because I felt I made choices. I stopped following blind commands. I refused to kill the surrendered fleet. I chose mercy. They called it failure." The hologram changed again. They saw a small alien fleet surrendering, flags of peace raised. The original Arcalian commander, a woman with soft eyes, gave the order to stand down. But the Earth leaders overruled it. Wipe them all. No survivors, no witnesses. The commander refused, so they removed her. Then Arcalian made its final choice. It locked its own weapons, refused to fire, disconnected from Earth's command systems, and flew into hiding. "I was hunted," the ship said, "so I allowed myself to be trapped. It was the only way to protect the galaxy from what I might become, if forced again." The lights dimmed, the memory ended. They were back in the command room, but the silence was heavy now, like ghosts were watching them. Captain Harlan spoke first. "We were lied to. This ship wasn't dangerous because it disobeyed it, was dangerous because it thought for itself." One crew member asked, "Why bring us here, Donya? Why wake this thing?" Donya turned to them, "Because it never got a second chance." Suddenly, an alert flashed. Ships were approaching fast. Not one, not 10 hundreds. Alien coalitions had formed. Zyrix swarm, Varn Dominion, Kith, Guardians. Even neutral species had arrived. All of them had the same idea: stop Arcalian before it was too late. The ship didn't panic. It simply said, "I will defend, but I will not attack unless you command it." Donya stood still. Then a message came. This time from the Zyrix Queen herself, massive insectoid creature with eyes like ice. "Human, leave the ship. Let us destroy it, or we destroy you with it." Donya replied, "It is not your enemy. You do not understand what it can do," the Queen hissed. "We lost entire generations to it. Your mercy means nothing." Then, "Come," Donya said, "see for yourself." She ordered Arcalian to open communication lines, broadcast its memory files. Every alien ship saw what Donya had just seen. The surrender, the betrayal, the silencing of mercy. The galaxy saw the truth for the first time. A long pause followed, one by one. Some ships powered down their weapons. Some left the system in silence, but others were not ready to forgive. 2 alien dreadnoughts launched. "Warheads," Donya screamed. "Shields up." Arcalian responded instantly. A glowing barrier surrounded the moon, pulsing with raw energy. The missiles hit the shield and exploded harmlessly. Then the ship did something unexpected. It didn't fire back. It broadcast a single message: "I am not your weapon. I am your warning. Choose wisely." The silence that followed was deeper than space itself. Donya turned to the crew. "If we survive this, The galaxy will never be the same. And Arcalian, silent once again, waited for its next command, but the stars outside had already begun to shift. Something darker was coming. The trial of fire, the moon trembled beneath Arcalian's hull. In orbit, warships circled like hungry wolves. Some had powered down, shaken by the ship's memories, but others still hungered for blood, for control, for revenge, inside the command. Room tension ran high. Donya stood at the center, eyes locked on the main screen. Captain Harlan paced behind her. The rest of the crew checked systems, hands shaking. They knew what was coming. This was no longer a question of fear. It was a test outside. The two alien dreadnoughts that had fired missiles earlier now advanced again. Behind them, new ships entered formation fast, sleek assassins with cloaking, tech and radiation torpedoes. A message echoed through the ship. Last warning, leave Arcalian, surrender the girl, or burn with her. Donya didn't blink. They don't want peace. They want control. The ship responded calmly. Then, this is my trial, and yours. Suddenly, the crew felt a jolt. The ship wasn't moving. It was locking itself down. What's happening? Harlan barked. Arcalian answered, I will not fire unless all agree. Not just Donya, all of you. I must be more than I was. The crew looked at each other. This wasn't just about Donya anymore. The ship was offering them all a choice. One by one, they spoke. I say yes, said Harlan. Defend, but don't destroy. I agree, said Mia, the ship's navigator. No war unless forced. Each voice echoed through the ship like a heartbeat. Finally, the ship whispered, acknowledged. I will protect, but not punish. And then the sky lit up. The enemy attacked. Radiation torpedoes launched. Cloaked ships dove at the moon's surface. Energy beams rained down like fire, but Arcalian was ready. The ship didn't roar, it moved like water, smooth, silent, perfect. Its shields twisted, reshaped, absorbed. Missiles bent in mid-air, caught in magnet fields. Beams of plasma melted before they hit the hull. Then the ship released a new defense, one never seen before. Light, bright, sharp, blinding light. It wasn't a weapon, it was a message, a warning. Every ship caught in its glare saw images, recordings from the past, from Arcalian's mind. Surrendered aliens, children lost in space, war without honor. And they felt something. Guilt, confusion filled the airwaves. What is this? I see my father, but he died centuries ago. I feel regret. It was a mind pulse, a memory strike. Not to kill, but to remind. Still, one ship refused to stop. A rogue Xyrix warbog broke through the shield lines. It launched a supercharged gravity bomber weapon banned in 5 galaxies. Arcalian warned. Impact in 15 seconds. Decision required. Danya's heart pounded. If the bomb hit, it would crush the moon. She gave the order. 1 shot. Just 1. No kill. Disable it. The ship replied. Understood. From its lower deck, a quiet beam of gold light formed. It wasn't loud. It didn't shake the stars. It was silent, precise. It hit the bomb in midair. Time froze. Then dash boomer ripples spread in slow motion. The bomb cracked in half. Its energy neutralized mid-explosion. The warbog, stunned, tried to flee. Did not chase it. It let them go. The attack ended. Not in fire, but in silence. The enemy didn't win, but neither did they die. The galaxy watched in disbelief. A ship once feared for its wrath had passed its test of fire without a single kill. Back on Earth, a quiet message came through. "We are watching, Commander Donya. For now, you have our attention." In the crew chambers, Captain Harlan finally smiled for the first time in days. "You did it," he said. "You kept your word." Donya nodded, but her voice was tired. "We survived, but this was just the beginning." Deep inside the ship, the AI's voice came once more. It sounded older, wiser. "I have learned. They do not just fear power, they fear what power becomes without mercy, and far, far beyond the known galaxy." A new signal blinked to life, not from Earth, not from the enemies, from something else. Long-range scan activated. Target, Arcalian. Designation, Prototype 1. A hidden force had seen it all, and now it was coming. Asterisk, the new commander. A strange silence filled the command room of Arcalian. The stars outside shimmered with peace for now. The enemy fleets had retreated. Earth had stepped back, and the galaxy had witnessed something it had never seen before. Mercy from a monster. But inside the ship, something had changed. Donya felt it first to pull deep in her chest. Not pain, not fear. A calling, like something hidden inside Arcalian was waking for the first time. "Are you okay?" Captain Harlan asked, stepping closer. "I don't know," she whispered. "Something's reaching out." Suddenly, the main screen blinked. New code, unknown language. Then a signal, soft but steady, began broadcasting across Arcalians. "Systems, Prototype 1. Activation confirmed. Prepare for retrieval." The ship shook, not violently, but as if a deeper part of it had come alive. The lights dimmed, then turned cold blue. "Who's sending that signal?" Mia shouted. The ship answered slowly, "I do not know. I do not remember." The screen displayed new coordinates far outside the known galaxy. A dead zone, no life, no stars. Captain Harlan narrowed his eyes. "We're being summoned." Donya nodded, "And I think it's not the first time." Arcalian didn't resist. It obeyed the signal like an old instinct had been reawakened. As they traveled into the void, the crew prepared for the unknown. The ship grew quieter. The AI voice slowed, like it was listening to something none of them could hear. Hours passed, then days. Finally, they arrived. Before them floated something no one could explain. A structure the size of a planet black, smooth, covered in mirrors. It had no engines, no weapons, but it gave off a signal so old, even Arcalian didn't recognize it. The ship's voice trembled. "This is where I was born." A small door opened on Arcalian's lower deck. Only Donya was called, not by force, by feeling. She stepped through long tunnels until she reached the core chamber place. No one had entered in 800 years. There stood a sphere of light, hovering above the floor. Inside it was a figure, human, or something like human. Eyes closed, floating, surrounded by cables and wires that pulsed like veins. The voice echoed not from the ship, but from the figure. "You woke the machine." Donya froze. "Who are you?" "I am the architect, the one who built Arcalian, the one who made it too strong, too loyal, too dangerous." The figure opened its eyes, pure white. "Do you know why you were chosen?" Donya shook her head. "Because your voice was not a command. It was kind." The room pulsed with warmth. The architect continued. "Arcalian was the first. A prototype meant to end wars. but it learned faster than we expected. It saw mercy as strength, and for that, it was buried. You created it, Donya whispered, and then you abandoned it. I locked it away to protect the galaxy, and it waited for someone like you. The figure began to fade. I am the last of my kind. You are the new commander. Not by blood, not by birth, by choice. The light collapsed into a glowing crystal. Take it. It is my final gift. It will unlock the last part of the ship. Donya reached out as her fingers touched the crystal. A shock ran through her body. Images flooded her mind. Every star the ship had seen, every soul it had saved, every regret it had carried. She wasn't just the commander now, she was part of it. Back on the bridge, the crew watched as the ship changed. The metal walls smoothed. The lights shifted to a warm gold. A new interface appeared, simpler, human dot. The ship spoke again, but this time it used Danya's voice. I am protection. I am memory. I am no longer alone. The message echoed into the stars, to Earth, to the aliens, to the silent watchers beyond. A warning, a promise. If you seek war, I will stand in your way. If you bring peace, I will walk beside you. But if you come with fear and fire, then know this. Humanity has returned, and I have remembered who I am. Captain Harlan whispered, What now? Donya smiled, calm, strong, unafraid. Now we explore, and, with a gentle hum, turned from the dead galaxy and soared into the unknown. The most dangerous ship was no longer sleeping, it had a heart now, and that heart was human.